Welcome to Reset with Ball and Doggett, a conversation connecting our industry. I'm Zadie Jackson, Business Development Manager for Ball and Doggett, and I'm in company today with Benn Murphy from Clarke Murphy Print up in Sydney and our very own Leigh Hooper, our National Manager for Display and Visual. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, Zade.
Hi, Zadie. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And I am excited to explore the world of Clarke Murphy today with you, Ben, and also some market insights with both of you. So let's kick off by learning more about our guest, starting with Mr. Benn Murphy. The Clarke Murphy Print family have been at the forefront of print industry's evolution. Clarke Murphy is based in Chatswood, Sydney. From humble beginnings, they are innovators in the market, underpinned by 5 generations of printing experience. Values and traditions are at the forefront on how they operate. This is the very reason at 10 a.m. each day they stop for morning tea and enjoy a cuppa and some toast. It's what families do. Their service offering is all-encompassing, from offset, digital, graphic and industrial design, web to print, but today we're going to explore their wide format offering, which has seen Ben appear on Channel 7's Weekend Sunrise, along with radio interviews celebrating what they do best, innovate. And with us as well, as I mentioned, is Mr. Leigh Hooper, a driver for innovation and creating opportunity. Leigh Hooper is the National Manager of Ball and Doggett's fastest growing division, Display and Visual, managing this portfolio of high quality medias and substrates to the signage, exhibition and events industries. Leigh's drive to work with Ball and Doggett's global supply network sees him at the forefront of discovering and driving trends. Leigh has been a leader in our industry for over 18 years, forging steadfast relationships. A key part of the foundation to establishing this division back in 2015, Leigh's experience in the print industry doesn't stop there. Previously excelling in positions with the business as Victorian Digital Media Manager and as a sales executive in commercial sales. A fascinating revelation is that he started his career as a graphic designer back in 2002. Ben, did you know that?
No, but I'm looking forward to hearing a lot about that hoops later today.
Leigh's current role includes leading a talented group of professionals around the country dedicated to display and visual, sourcing new, innovative and trending medias, managing the inventory profile of the division. Using his natural creative edge, collaborates with our marketing team on marketing activations. A natural communicator, the most enjoyable part of his job is forming partnerships with our customers, and you can clearly see the relationship you two have. Gentlemen, let's kick off and get into it. Ben, this one's going to go out to you, sir. You're going to kick it off for us. Given the position I think we've all found ourselves in the country back in March and now 5 months on, our signage industry was really at the forefront of responding to the needs of the community, and from safety signage and creating innovative ideas for customers to solve issues that they didn't even realise they had. Can you share with us how you and your business approached this challenge?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Sadie. Look, obviously it's been a really interesting couple of months. You know, our financial year, we were charging until the start of February, and then obviously COVID's hit, and we've had lots of different pivots and evolution of all areas of our business. But wide format's probably been the one that's had to evolve the most. Ball and Doggett is actually our largest supplier, and they've got a really diverse range of products. And don't get me wrong, we've got some other great suppliers in other areas, but from floor graphics through to PETG products for safety screens, we've absolutely been evolving the whole period of time. So for us, it was very much straight away it was signage, and we actually hit up the pharmacy industry first.
Yeah,
which,
right.
We did shield screens and floor graphics. Now everyone's been doing floor graphics, but the thing that's happened in that floor graphic space, it's not one size fits all. There's there's 5 or 6 different products, and we've seen products on buses up here in Sydney that were only up for a week because it was the wrong product on the wrong surface. So there's definitely been a lot of education in the market in and around that there. But, and I'm sure we'll talk through it today. So we had that initial, which was pharmacies and bottle shops, just keeping those areas. And then we went into Build-A-Desk, and then we went into the fan in the stand. And so when I look back over the last 3 months, whilst it has been challenging, geez, there's been some really great byproducts come out of this. And our team, we've lent on our internal designers. So we could have obviously lent on the great Leigh Hooper to help out in that area with his knowledge of 18 years ago. But our internal designers, and then our industrial designer, but then also products that would traditionally take 1 to 2 to 3 weeks to get to market, we got to market in 2 to 3 days. So
that's phenomenal.
So I'm sure we'll deep dive over a couple of those throughout, but that's on the surface. That's been that sort of, I won't say innovate or die, but definitely innovate and evolve, because there wasn't the standard. We do a lot of national campaigns that involve offset digital and wide format. Obviously, they were all put on hold because people weren't in retail or at the car shop or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting, and I love the fact that you actually have that full service offering, so everything's in-house and you can keep the quality control steadfast to what your quality assurances are too, which is great.
Yeah, look, absolutely. We want to be a one-stop shop. We're not the biggest business, but we're probably one of the most diverse businesses with the offering, and that's going to increase later this year when we go into other markets. So it's one point of contact with one of our sales team, and then the complete production in behind that there. So and one point of dispatch, and obviously freight and distribution is becoming a massive it's a massive part of what we do now. Quite often we're judged on our freight deliveries, not on what we produce. So that's the constant evolution. I'm sure Ball and Doggett can sympathise with that as well.
Absolutely. Mr. Hooper, can you respond to the demand from Ball and Doggett's perspective and share with what you and your team have had to go through and support the community?
Yeah, so at the start, Zaid, when all this broke, we're heavily into the retail and the transit sector. So we supply a lot of vinyls into the transit market and synthetic substrates, and also into retail. So a lot of rigid substrates, whether it be screen boards or foam PVCs and the like. So a lot of that market had come to a stop. So we had to look at new avenues and new revenue streams for our business. So I think the key for us was really around the diversification strategy and looking at what are those products that align to some of the signage requirements within the COVID social distancing measures at that point in time. So we got to work pretty quickly on some of the floor graphic solutions, whether that be internal or external floor graphics. And we come up with some presentations and some training videos around some of those substrates to familiarise our customers with those grades. But then pretty quickly we started to get together as a collective and start to think about some new innovation. And this is where it really worked in well with Ben, was coming up with some ideas that were quite unique. And I think you can always come up with an innovation when you can identify what the problem is and solve a problem. And that's what we really did, I think, at the initial stages with Build a Desk, working with Ben, was we realised that there's a lot of kids sitting at kitchen benches, and don't have desks. So Ben was able to really quickly get to market with a product that would solve that problem. And we were able to help him as a supply partner, and I'm sure we'll talk about that more later. But that was a really exciting journey for us. And it was really just about, and fan in the stand was another concept that we worked on with Ben in the very early stages as well. So it was about sort of looking outside the norm at your typical end applications, and really looking outside the box at what else is possible with our medias.
And I think what's coming quite clearly through is the fact that, one, there's a solution-driven element to this every single time, response to market, and also the collaborative approach for not just being a client and supplier, but there is a partnership there. And
absolutely.
And that leads me into the next question, and this is for both of you. From your experiences, talking to your clients, what's the current feeling amongst the industry, whether it's, with your clients' design or the signage industry as a whole? Ben, do you want to take that one for me, please?
Yeah, look, it's look. No one has a crystal ball with what's going on. You know, if we had sat back in October when both businesses were probably, you know, running into Christmas, we were going, yeah, there's a good buzz. Everyone's up and about the future of print, and yeah, no one's more excited about print than myself. You know, I always get asked or told by. Not by my father, because I think I've pumped his tyres up a fair bit about it, but a lot of people in the industry, it's not like the good old days. And my answer to that is, these are our good old days. So, you know, this is the time where change. We produce a static media, you know, very much a digital world. And I think that's part of, and it's not just Clarke Murphy with Ball and Doggett. I'm sure Ball and Doggett have got other partners and customers and similar with us, where traditionally we have been order takers. So we're working with a designer, with an end producer. I think the thing that's really flipped on its head over the last 3 to 4 months is that with collaboration with our suppliers, we're taking products to the market to solve solutions. So, you know, I go back to our first one, which was, how does someone go into a chemist with, whether it's a carpet tile, a tiled floor, a wooden floor, polished concrete floor? Well, there's a whole range of different products, you know, that Ball and Doggett supply. And then how do we put something that's temporary on a bench to give protection for the employee in that pharmacy to be able to facilitate a transaction with their customers? And traditionally, we would take, you know, we'll take the 1,000 A1 core flutes and all the circles in floor graphics in a retail space. But in this scenario, we've gone back with, you know, we were working with customers, drilling down to the point, how are we going to yield the best per square meter rate for floor graphic out of, you know, it comes in a 1370 wide roll without being too technical. Yeah. What's the best size? You know, is it 330? Is it 300? What's the arrow size? So I think it sort of answers a little bit of the previous question too. So sorry about that there, but we've been, you know, hand in glove with Leigh and the products and looking how we're going to innovate and go back to the market to effectively keep our businesses as full as possible. How is that leading to our customers, our designers, our and customers' feelings? I think, you know, definitely there's a level of confidence coming back into the market. You know, I think, you know, again, all political persuasions aside, I think the government's doing a good job in giving confidence, not only in the printing industry, but in all sectors. I think if businesses were struggling pre-COVID, I don't think, you know, what the government's doing is necessarily going to help them navigate through that. But, you know, there is a sense of confidence, you know, till next March, you're between, you know, rent support, wage support. So I think everyone is, you know, if we can get our beautiful Victorians to, you know, get together and sort out a little bit there, you know, the fabric of society, we've got a bit of sport happening, we've got a bit of kids sport on the weekend, so we can go and have a beer at the pub. There's a bit of fabric of society coming back now. So, you know, I'm hopefully got the feeling it's going to be, you know, onward and upward in a somewhat different way.
Of course, and I appreciate that honest answer, because there's a lot of layers there as well, but it's what makes us who we are, isn't it? So, yeah. But Leigh, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, similar to Ben really, is that I do feel that there's certainly a level of confidence coming back into the market. The early stages, you know, everyone naturally was quite panicky about the situation. It's the uncertainty really that starts to hit home. And there's not really an end date to this, which I think fears a lot of people. But one thing that I have been, you know, really proud of, you know, when I come talk about Ball and Doggett, is that it's about, again, working with our customers to find a solution and help and assist them. And there's been customers that have reached out for support. There's been customers that have reached out for ideas and driven initiatives through Ball and Doggett. There's been, you know, those partnerships are forming. I think that's one of the things that I've really noticed too, is that the collaboration between the supplier and and the print customer is stronger than it's ever been before, because there's a real value there for both parties. We can really see that now, and certainly it's been a challenging time. But I think if we'll look back in this years to come, and it really will be a story to be told, to the generations below us that we went through this, and we went through some really difficult times, but we got out the other end, and that was because we all worked together through it, and that's the thing I'm probably most proud of, from Ball Doggett's point of view, and our customers' point of view, and the industry as a whole, I think is really binded together. And there's certainly some optimism in the market at the moment. I see retail starting to come back. We've had a fantastic month this month in display and visual. Seeing only over the last week or two, even with the Melbourne closures, some retail work coming back. The transit market's starting to come back, and our view on that is that August, September, we'll start to see that market firing back up again. So Ben touched on it, as the pubs and clubs and restaurants and cafes and all these businesses start opening again. We're going to start to see more signage applications, which is really good for our industry.
And I think you both really corroborated the fact that the pillars of where we're going from, being order takers, we've all been that, but we've been forced to adapt our mindset and work more closely and evolve and educate and collaborate even more so. And I think moving forward, Leigh, you touched on that, it'll allow for a more robust and connected community in the industry down the pathway, it's really exciting. And, leading right into Build a Desk, I thought that was the most exciting thing that I'd seen in a response time to market. Talk me through the idea, talk me through then, how you guys responded to it, and then how did Fan in the Stand, which a lot of my mates have done, and I've seen their heads on TV, which has been awesome. How did that all come about for you guys, Ben?
Yeah, look, it's really funny how it all works. And I've got 4 daughters, and my wife is a school teacher in her past life with 4 children, and as Victoria is back doing it right now, I said the kitchen table became it was the kitchen table, it was the lunchtime table, it was also the maths table, it was also the colouring in table for my preschool. So my eldest is 12, then I've got a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. So
wow.
My wife's got more on than the first settlers when we were homeschooling. So we needed to have some division in our house, because there was no circuit breaker, and even when I was doing some work from home, we've really tried to actually keep our factory open the entire time, because I think there's still some great traditions, keep the work and home life apart. So it happened, again, speaking with Leigh, and I met Leigh a number of years back at a golf day, and normally we would just talk about products and pricing. What's happened over the last 3 or 4 months? We're talking about products, pricing, but application. Yeah. And when you look at a product like EnviroCore, which we actually went out to the manufacturer out of Lithgow, sorry. They had a board that's just traditionally used in the construction industry, and then they've evolved to supply it into Ball and Doggett, and then we grabbed it. So there are other vendors in that market, but they're not Australian made, which I think is just a big push and byproduct out of what's happening right now. So we worked with them on the quality of the board, and then Gavin, our industrial designer, we did about 20 or 30 rounds of prototyping. So much so that we launched the product and then had Sunrise here on the Saturday, and we felt it was never, was it to make money? Yeah, it was, but it was also to keep our business busy, and a couple of really great things came out of it. We had innovation in our business. It got our machines running straight away. It got everyone up and about and excited about, well, we've never made furniture, let alone 100% recyclable, 100% Australian made, and we were doing on demand. And to give our little European competitor a little kick in the guts, there was no Allen key, so it was a fun project. And then so we finished on the Saturday morning at about 8 o'clock, and then the phone started going, and then the email started going. So on the Tuesday night, we came up with the idea. On the Thursday, we had a full-blown prototype. On the Friday, we had a website. So these are things that we don't normally do on a day-to-day basis. Was the website 100% right? No, but it had to go.
Yeah.
And so then on the Saturday, that Saturday, I can't remember Hoops because I rang you, but I think we got the best part of 500 or 750 orders. And on the Sunday, we pulled everyone in to work on the website. We hadn't even really finalised the design. We knew it was right. And we've also got a photo studio in our complex. So we took photos. I had my daughters come in. I did a silly photo, and I'm 100 kilos. I was lying on it. I had to really work the tummy muscles to get that photo to work. And then on the Monday, we were dispatching, and then bringing Hoops to say we need product. So the minute they went out, we had it right. And 4 or 5 months on, we're still doing 5 to 10 orders a day. We've evolved into printed ones. We've done some charity ones. There's colouring in versions. Yeah. And we've got a range of other temporary products that we're now working with a furniture builder that does temporary office furniture for 2 and 3 months. So again, long story short there, but it's been a catalyst to evolve into areas and income streams that aren't commoditized. I don't need to go to my supplier and bash them over the head on price.
Yeah.
It is difficult dealing business to consumer when we always do business to business. Yeah, but it's been a really fun run.
And how exciting for you, because you had the Build a Castle that came out of that as well. I got so excited when that came out.
And Build a Cubby's going well.
Build a Cupboard, sorry, yeah. And I think, for staff to be involved in innovation at such a ground roots perspective, that gives them a sense of pride working for a business like yours. And I think that's pretty exciting for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, we are very much a family business. We've got a lot of people that have been with us for over 10, 15 and 20 years. We still stop every single day for morning tea. It is very limited and it is COVID safe now. But normally we have tea toast, Vegemite and peanut butter. And in any manufacturing industry, to stop for 10 to 15 minutes, that's unheard of. And my dad, a lot of the people that come in, they come in at 10 o'clock for a meeting. They say, Ken, my father's name's Ken. He always is asked the question, Ken, have you ever calculated over the 32 years how much this has cost you to put this on? And his standard answer is, have you ever sat down and calculated how much it's earned me? Because the collaboration on a daily basis between everyone in our business, everyone's chatting and everyone loves Vegemite toast. So it's good for everyone involved.
That's a really powerful response from your father too. I think that's insane. Leigh, how does a business like ours at Ball and Doggett respond to the needs of Benn in that moment? It's a 4-day turnaround.
Yeah, well, look, it was a unique situation, and the thing that really started all this was how quick and dynamic Benn was to market, and that was the thing that impressed us so much. Was it was literally a solution, and within 48 hours, it's actually happening, and it was incredible to watch it from the outside. But from our point of view, it was just about making sure that we had the right product, we had quick supply, and Ben touched on it earlier before, was that that product's actually manufactured in New South Wales. So we were fortunate that we could meet Ben's volume demand needs because we were able to manufacture it locally. I think we were doing deliveries, Ben, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sundays. It was incredible. That Saturday morning, I still remember sitting out reading the paper and getting the phone call from Ben to say it's on, it's happening, and the orders literally were happening quickly. And I was on the phone to the supplier on Saturday, organising stock for Monday, and That's how quickly it happened. So I think you just got to be quick and nimble and on your feet in that situation. And that's what we were during that period of time.
And it sounds so energetic. I love it. It's just so hyped, everything about it. Now, just to wrap up on the last question, guys, I mean, we spoke about the pivot. We've spoken about response to market and all that sort of stuff. But Ben, just in a couple of sentences, how would you describe this sort of the key elements within a business when you're faced with such a, when the challenge is out of your control?
Yeah, look, it's I just think really clear lines of communication. I think communication in any relationship, employee, employer, in order to have a strong employee, you need to have a strong employer, and vice versa. And I'm certainly no business guru, but I've grown up in the business. All the machines arrived on my 8th birthday in the garage, so I've genuinely grown up in the business. And I just think if you're open and transparent with everyone about what you're doing, I think it's a recipe for success. And it goes both ways. In order to have a great customer, you need a great supplier. And Ball Doggett's our largest supplier by far, but they're more than a supplier; they're a stakeholder. So you've got to be able to have strong, robust relationships that go both ways. There's going to be good, bad, and indifferent times, and I think that's the thing that's evolving through this period of time. Everyone in our business, whilst we've had to make some tough decisions and adjustments through this period, like any business in any vertical in any industry. But if you're open and transparent, people can then have got a spine to hold on to. They've got something that they know that they can be a part of, and they know where the business is going. And these are uncharted times. I hope we never have to go through this again. Normality from 6-12 months ago seems pretty bloody good as far as I'm concerned. But communication, I think, is the ultimate key to survival through this period.
Thanks so much, Leigh, to wrap up.
Yeah, look, I agree with Ben. I'm really big on transparency and clear communication. It's really important, in all areas of our life. But look, probably the big thing for me within our business, the change, you've got to be willing to adapt and change and pivot your business. And I think we all talk about diversification, but I think that this period of time has really taught us that how important diversification is. If you're pigeonholed into certain sectors, it can leave you quite exposed. So to be able to offer, a more diverse offering, whether that be product or service, is really important through these times. And be able to think outside the square. We've spent a number of Zoom meetings over the last few months talking about what's next. And we do that collectively. I think that's important, is to get real engagement and buy-in from your team, because what you think is a great idea may not necessarily be a great idea, but one of your co-workers may come up with a better solution, and so that's where we've got to as a group, is really talking regularly on what's next for us. And we are in Melbourne, so what do you call us, Ben? The Mexicans.
The Mexicans.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we do, we still are in isolation. So we've got time to sit here. We can't visit customers, unfortunately, down here at the moment. So we're still in that pattern of meeting regularly and talking about, what is next for us, and coming up with some creative ideas and strategic thinking. And this is a time to sit back and really analyse everything.
Absolutely.
In depth. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. Gentlemen, I appreciate your time this morning. I'm sure our viewers are going to appreciate the insight that you've shared. And Ben, a huge congratulations to you and your team and your family on Build the Desk. Check it out, everyone, on buildadesk.com.au. Leigh Hooper, I really appreciate your time, mate. I know you guys are doing amazing work and really working quite hard. So congratulations to you and that division. And as you know, I hope you guys have enjoyed the experience with us today.
Great day, yeah, fantastic forum.
No, thank you. And as always, a huge thank you to our viewers to being consistent with us and joining us every Friday. 2 o'clock when we release the EDM to the market. Jump on our YouTube channel and subscribe. And there you can stay updated with every Friday that it's coming through. And what optimism looks like to you in your business? It's a question we ask all our guests. And if you head down to the description in this video, you will find the inspiring words from Mr. Benn Murphy and Mr. Leigh Hooper. Benn and Leigh, thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks,
Can I just give one thing? Just because it's going out to a lot of designers and so on, we regularly do tours of our factory for educational purposes, and probably a little bit hard for people outside of the Sydney network. But if anyone ever wants to bring their team for education, it's good for our industry. It's education's absolute key. You can come and see us at Clarke Murphy Print just to go through all areas of our business and learn a little. That. We do a lot with the TAFEs and universities. I'm
a big advocate for that, so I'll actually be calling to set some stuff up on behalf of so ask Leigh. So thank you, gentlemen. I really, really appreciate this, and I think there's going to be so much value that comes out of it. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Hopefully we're on the course soon, Benny.
No, exactly right. Exactly. I'll see you face to face very soon. Sadie, thanks so much for having us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.